The Little Prince Level 2, Chapter 1. I saw a big snake in a book. The snake ate an animal. After eating an animal, this snake doesn't need to eat for 6 months. I drew that big snake. This is drawing number 1. But the man said, this is a drawing of a hat. My drawing was not of a hat, so I drew a picture of an elephant inside a snake. This is drawing number 2. The man said to me, stop drawing. Just do other things. So, I gave up being a painter. Now I am a pilot. I flew to many cities in the world. I met many great people, but my mind did not change. When I met a smart person, I showed him drawing number 1. The person said, that is a hat. After that, I would never talk to that person about big snakes or the jungle. I would talk about card games and golf to make him happy. Chapter 2. I had no friends to talk to until 6 years ago. At that time, my plane stopped working in the desert. There was only me also. I only had water for 1 week. On the first night, I went to sleep on the sand. I heard a strange little voice in the morning. Draw me a sheep. What? There was a child who looked at me carefully. Here is a drawing of him. He looks sweeter than my drawing because I stopped drawing after I was 6 years old. I looked at the child with surprise. This was the desert. The child didn't seem lost in the desert. I said, what are you doing here? He repeated, draw me a sheep. So I took out a sheet of paper and a pen. But I was still in the desert. As you know, I did not know how to draw, but he said to me, that doesn't matter. Draw me a sheep. I didn't draw a sheep, but I drew the boa snake. Then he said, no, I do not want an elephant inside a boa snake. I need a sheep. Draw me a sheep. So I drew a sheep. But he said to me, no, this sheep is already very sickly, so I drew another one once more. But he rejected that too. I drew another one in a hurry. This is the box. The sheep is inside the box. He spoke with a bright face. That is exactly what I want. Does this sheep eat a lot? Why? Because in my place, everything is very small. I said, he is a very small sheep. There is enough grass for him. He said, not so small that. Look, he has fallen asleep. Chapter 3. I got to know the little prince little by little. When he saw my airplane, he asked me, what is that? That is an airplane. It can fly. He cried out, what? You dropped down from the sky. Answered softly, yes. Oh, that is funny. Aha, so you come from the sky too. Where is your star? I was surprised, so I asked him quickly, do you come from another star? But he did not answer. He looked at the plane and said, you can't have come from very far away. After a time, he carefully took the drawing of the sheep out of his pocket. Other stars. I asked many questions. Where do you come from? Where do you want to take your sheep? He said, this box is the sheep's house at night. If you are good, I will give you a rope to tie the sheep. Tie the sheep. That is strange. But if you don't tie the sheep, he will go away. It is okay because my star is so small. Chapter 4. Now I had more information about the little prince. His star was about the size of a house. When a star scientist finds a small star, he gives it a name by giving it a number. I believe the little prince came from star B612. A Turkish star scientist found this star, but nobody believed his words because he had on Turkish clothes. A Turkish leader had great power. He ordered his people to change from Turkish clothes to European clothes. The star scientist had on European clothes and talked about B612 again. After this, everybody believed his words. I talked about numbers a lot because men like numbers. When you tell them that you have made a new friend, they ask you these questions. How old is he? How many brothers does he have? They always want to know about numbers. If you talk to men, you would have to tell them, I saw a house that cost $20,000. Then they would say, oh, what a pretty house that is. If you said to them, there was the little prince, he was lovely, and he was looking for a sheep, they would consider you to be a child. But if you said to them, the star he came from is B612, they could understand what you said. I would have liked to begin this story like a fairy tale, but then people would read it lightly and forget about it. My friend went away 6 years ago. I don't want to forget the little prince, so I'm describing him here. This is why I bought a box of paints and pencils, but it's not easy for me to draw again at my age. Sometimes I make some errors, but I try to draw as best as I can. I may make mistakes on important details, but that will not be my fault, because my friend never explained anything to me. Maybe I am a little more like men now? Chapter 5. On the third day, I heard a story about the problem of the baobabs. The little prince asked me quickly, "Is it true that sheep eat little trees?" "Yes, that is true." "Oh, I am glad. Do they also eat baobab trees?" The little prince asked me again. I said to him, "No, baobabs are not little trees. They are as big as castles." But he said wisely, "Before they are so big, the baobabs start by being little." "Yes, that's right. But why do you want the sheep to eat the little baobabs? What are you talking about?" He did not answer, so I had to find an answer by myself. Maybe there was also good grass and bad grass on his star. If he saw bad grass, he had to pull them out fast. There were very bad seeds on the star. They were baobab seeds. If baobabs are pulled out late, they split the star into pieces. The little prince said to me later, "You have to pull out baobabs, just like how you wash your face every day. It's boring, but it's easy." One day he said to me, "Draw a picture and let the children know about this land. If you don't do it every day, you will have big problems." So I drew a star that was being broken by baobab trees. "Children, watch out for the baobabs." I drew that tree very carefully. I think this drawing is excellent. I tried to draw other pictures along with the baobabs, but I couldn't. The other pictures were not as good as the picture of the baobabs. Chapter 6. Oh, little prince. Little by little, I came to understand your sad and little life. On the fourth day, I got to know the little prince more. The little prince's star is so small. He can see the sunset at any time. If he wants to see the sunset, he only needs to move his chair a few steps forward. One day, he said to me, "I saw the sunset 44 times. Chapter 7. On the fifth day, he suddenly asked me, "Does a sheep eat flowers too?" I answered him, "A sheep eats anything. A sheep eats roses." "Yes, sure. But roses have thorns that are guarding it." I was very much worried about fixing the plane, so I couldn't answer. "Then, what use are thorns?" I answered with the first thing that came into my head. "The thorns are no use at all." "I don't believe you. Roses are weak, so they have thorns. They think that thorns are perfect weapons, and you really believe that the flowers?" I cried out, No, I don't believe anything. Don't you see? I am very busy. I am fixing the plane. This is very important work for me." He looked at me. "Important work? You talk just like the men. You mix everything up together." He was very angry. I know a man. He has never loved anyone. He only loves numbers. All day he says over and over, just like you, "I am busy. I do important work." It is difficult for flowers to make thorns. But do you think that is not important? Is the war between the sheep and the flowers not important? There is only one flower in the world, but one little sheep can destroy it in a bite. You think that is not important. If someone loves a flower, that flower is the only one in the world. He is happy just thinking about that flower. But if the sheep eats that flower, he loses everything. You think that is not important. He cried with no sounds. I dropped my tills. I took him in my arms. I said to him, "The flower that you love is not in danger. I can draw a mask for your sheep. I can." I didn't know what to say to him. Chapter 8. On the little prince's star, the flowers were very simple. The flowers came out from the grass and went away peacefully. One day something came out of the ground. It had small leaves. The little prince watched very closely. Over those small leaves, the plant got ready to make a flower. The flower prepared to show her beauty in her flower room. She chose her flower colors carefully. She wanted to come out when it was full of beautiful light. She was a very lovely plant. The flower got ready for a long time. Finally, she came out. But the flower said, I just woke up. I don't look good. The little prince said to her, Oh, how beautiful you are. Sure, I am. I was born at the same time as the sun. I think it's time to eat. The flower said, Please think about my needs. The little prince brought her fresh water. One day the flower said, I'm not afraid of tigers. I have 4 thorns. Tigers don't eat plants, said the little prince. Well, she changed her words. I don't like the wind. I want you to put me under a glass cup. It is very cold here. She coughed 2 times. The glass cup. The little prince loved the flower with all his heart, but he was unhappy because he thought deeply about what she said. The little prince shared his thoughts with me. I should not have listened to what she said. I should have smelled the flower. That's enough. But the fact is that I didn't know how to understand anything. I should never have run away from her. But I was too young to know how to love her. Chapter 9. The little prince cleaned 2 active volcanoes before leaving his star. He cleaned the 3rd volcano. The 3rd volcano didn't work anymore. If you clean them well, volcanoes will be okay. He removed the little leaves of baobabs. He watered the flower. He felt that he was very close to tears. Goodbye, he said to the flower. She didn't answer. At last she said to him, Could you forgive me? And be happy? I love you too. Try to be happy. I don't need the glass cup anymore. But the wind, the cool night air will do me good. I am a flower. But the animals, it's okay. Don't worry about that. Just go. She didn't want him to see her crying. Chapter 10. The little prince visited stars 325 to 330. On the first star, there was a king. When the king saw the little prince, he said, Oh, here is a citizen. Every man is a citizen of the king, so the king called. Oh, here is a citizen, the king said. Come close to me. The little prince wanted to sit down, but he kept standing because there was no place to sit. The little prince yawned, but the king stopped his yawning. I'm sleepy, so I can't stop myself. Oh, then I order you to yawn, the king said. Your order scares me. I can't. Then, I order. The king was a little bit angry because he had great power and everybody had to accept his orders. He was a good king because he made his orders understandable. May I sit down? The little prince asked. I order you to do so, the king answered. The little prince was thinking, This star is so small. Lord, he said to the king. Over what do you rule? Over everything, said the king. Over everything? Asked the little prince. Yes, over everything on every star, the king answered. The stars obey you. Sure they do, the king said. The little prince thought, what a great power. If he had that power, he did not need to move his chair to watch the sunset. He felt a bit sad. He remembered his star. I want to see the sunset, the little prince said. If I ordered a general to do an impossible command, who would be wrong? Me or the general? You? Said the little prince. That's right, the king said. The command should be acceptable. What about my sunset? The little prince asked. You shall have your sunset, but you shall have to wait, the king answered. Until when? This evening about 20 minutes to 8. I have nothing more to do here, he said to the king. I will go on my way again. Do not go, said the king. I will make you minister of law, but there is nobody here to judge, the little prince said. Then you shall judge yourself, the king said to the little prince. But I can judge myself anywhere. Well, then you can judge the old mouse on our star. It's okay to give him the death penalty. I don't want to put anyone to death. I need to go on my way. No, said the king. If you order me to go, I can follow your order, the little prince said. But the king had no answer. So the little prince went on his way. Chapter 11. A big talker lived on the 2nd star. When he saw the little prince, he said, Oh, you have come to respect me. You wear a strange hat, said the little prince. This hat is for the welcome, he replied. Clap your hands. he said to the little prince. The little prince clapped his hands. Then he took off his hat. The little prince and the big talker repeated these actions for 5 minutes. What should I do to get the hat to fall to the ground? The little prince asked. He could only listen to good words. Do you really respect me? Said the big talker. What does that mean, respect? The little prince asked. To respect means that you are the best at everything. But you are the only man on your star. Even if I respect you, what is the point? You are the only one. The little prince went away. Chapter 12. There was a drunk person on the 3rd star. What are you doing there? The little prince asked. I am drinking, he replied. Why are you drinking? I want to forget. Forget what? The little prince asked again. Forget that I feel bad, he said. Feel bad for what? Feel bad for drinking, he answered. Men are very, very strange. The little prince went away. Chapter 13. There was a businessman on the 4th star. Good morning, the little prince said to him. But he didn't answer. 3 and 2 make 5. Good morning. 15 and 7 make 22. Phew. Then that makes 501 million. 500 million of what? Asked the little prince. Are you still there? I do very important work. 500 million of what? Asked the little prince again. I made 3 mistakes so far, the businessman said. The first thing was that I made a mistake because of an animal noise. And the second bad story was that I had pain in my body. The third one is now, the businessman said. 500 million of what? The little prince asked again. Millions of those little bright things, he answered. Oh, you mean the stars? Yes, that's it. The stars? What do you do with 500 million stars? Nothing. I only own them. What good is it for you to own the stars? It makes me rich. What good is it for you to be rich? I can buy more stars. How is it possible to own the stars? There is no owner of the stars. When you find a diamond that belongs to nobody, it is yours. I own the stars because they have no owner. Yes, that is true. But what do you do with them? Said the little prince. I count them and recount them. If I own an apple, I can eat it. But what can you do with the stars? Asked the little prince. I write the number of stars on a paper and I put that paper in the bank, the businessman answered. It sounds romantic but not important, thought the little prince. I have a flower and 3 volcanoes. I take care of them. And that's what it means to own them. But you can't take care of the stars. Men are strange, the little prince said. Chapter 14. The 5th star was the smallest. The star had a street lamp and a lamplighter. I think this man is less strange than the others, the little prince said to himself. It is beautiful to turn the street lamp on and off. Beauty is truly useful. Good morning. Why do you turn off the lamp? Said the little prince. That is the order, replied the lamplighter. What is the order? The order is that I turn off my lamp. I do not understand, said the little prince. There is nothing to understand, said the lamplighter. Orders are orders. I'm very sleepy. I don't have the rest of the night for sleep. The lamplighter said. Why not? The little prince asked. Because the star moves faster and faster. Then what? Asked the little prince. The star makes 1 turn every minute. What? 1 minute is a day. The little prince was surprised. Yes, now we have met for 30 minutes. 30 minutes is a month, so we have met for a month, the lamplighter said. Because he was a true person. The little prince wanted to help him. I can tell you a way you can rest whenever you want to, the little prince continued. You can go all the way around the star in 3 steps. Just walk slowly, and it will be daytime so that you can rest. That doesn't help. I want to sleep, said the lamplighter. The little prince went away. He thought that. He's a wonderful person who works for others, the little prince said to himself. I want to make friends with him, but his star is too small. There is no room for 2 people. Chapter 15. The 6th star was a very big, and an old gentleman was writing a big book on the star. What is that big book? And what are you doing? Asked the little prince. I am an earth scientist. An earth scientist knows the location of all the seas, rivers, and mountains, answered the old gentleman. That's a great job. Is there a sea on the star? I don't know, the old man said. Oh. Then, what about a river or a mountain? I don't know, but you are an earth scientist. Yes, but I am not a traveler. An earth scientist cannot leave his desk. The earth scientist said. An earth scientist listens to a traveler and writes it down in a book. That's why the traveler's moral character is so important. Why is that? If the traveler lies, this book becomes a fake book. A drunk person is not helpful to me. When I met a traveler of good character, I asked for proof of what he found. But you come from far away. You are a traveler. Tell me about your star. The scientist opened the book and he held a pencil. My star is small, the little prince said. My star has 3 volcanoes. I also have a flower. I do not write about flowers, the scientist said. Why is that? This is a very important book. I can't change the story in this book. Flowers have a short lifespan. A mountain is more important than a live volcano or a dead volcano. A mountain does not change, the scientist said. But what does that mean? Short lifespan. The little prince asked. It means, it easily dies, the scientist answered. My flower has short lifespan. The little prince said to himself. Now she is alone on my star. He felt sorry. Go to the earth, the scientist said. So the little prince went on his way thinking of his flower. Chapter 16. The 7th star was the earth. A lot of people are living here. The earth is large enough to need 462,511 lamplighers for the streets. If you look at the lamplighers from a distance, they look like a ballet performance. The lights turn on in New Zealand and Australia. Then, the lights turn on in China and Siberia. After that, the lights turn on in Russia, India, Africa and Europe. They don't make mistakes. It is amazing. Chapter 17. The story of the lamplighter's was not perfectly true. In fact, people could fill a very small place on Earth. But men don't believe me. They need time to think about numbers. However, you only have to believe me. When the little prince came to the earth, he saw something moving in the sand. It was a golden color. Good evening, said the little prince. You are a funny animal. You are no thicker than a finger. Good evening, said the snake. What is this star? Asked the little prince. This is the earth. This is Africa. This is the African desert, so there are no people here, the snake answered. The little prince sat down on a stone and looked up to the sky. Look at my star. It is right there above us. It is beautiful, but what brings you here? The snake asked. I had some trouble with a flower, answered the little prince. Where are the men? It is a little lonely in the desert, the little prince said. It is also lonely among men, the snake said. The little prince looked at the snake for a long time. I think you are not very powerful. No, I'm very powerful. I can send anyone home at once, said the snake. But you are weak, and you come from a star. I can help you someday if you are homesick. I can. Chapter 18. The little prince met a flower in the desert. Good morning, said the little prince. Good morning, said the flower. Where are the men? The little prince asked. I don't know where to meet them. Men don't have roots, so they go away as the wind blows, the flower answered. Chapter 19. After that, the little prince went up a high mountain. He thought, if I go up top, I can see the people, but he saw nothing, only peaks of rocks. Good morning, he simply said. Good morning, good morning, good morning, answered the echo. What a strange star. It repeats what I say. My flower spoke to me first. Chapter 20. Finally, the little prince came to a town. Good morning, he said, standing before a garden. Good morning, said the roses. Who are you? We are roses. His flower told him that she was the only one in the world. So he felt unhappy. If my flower knew this, she would be very upset. Maybe she would say to me, I am going to die now. I thought that I was rich. But I'm not. I had a common rose and 3 volcanoes. That doesn't make me a great prince. He lay down in the grass and cried. Chapter 21. Then a fox came to him. Good morning. The little prince could not see anything. I am under the apple tree, the voice said. Who are you? Asked the little prince. I am a fox, the fox said. Come and play with me. I am so unhappy, the little prince said. Sorry, I can't play with you. I am wild, the fox said. You do not live here. What are you looking for? I am looking for friends. What does wild mean? The little prince asked. It means not tame, the fox replied. What does tame mean? It means to be connected. You are just one of many boys to me. And I am also just one of many foxes to you. But if you tame me, I'm the only one to you in this world, the fox said. Oh, I understand now. My flower on my star tamed me, the little prince said. Another star? Are there chickens on that star? The fox asked. No, nothing is perfect. My life is very simple, the fox said. I hunt chickens. Men hunt me, but if you tame me, your footsteps will sound like music to me, the fox said. I do not eat bread, but if you tame me, I shall love those grain fields. Those grain fields are golden like your hair color, the fox said. The fox looked at the little prince. Please, tame me. I want to very much, but I can't, the little prince replied. I do not have much time. I need time to make friends. If you want a friend, tame me, said the fox. What must I do to tame you? Asked the little prince. You must be very patient, the fox answered. First, you will sit down a little distance away from me. Then you will sit a little closer to me every day. The next day, the little prince came back. It would be better to come back at the same hour. I shall feel happier and happier as that time comes, the fox said. Also, we have to make a special day. A special day? The little prince asked. Yes, we can make one day different from other days, the fox answered. For example, every Thursday, the hunters play together in the village. Thursday is a special day for me. I can go everywhere freely. Oh, I understand, the little prince said. At last, the little prince tamed the fox. When they had to say goodbye, the fox felt sad. It is no good for you, the little prince said. No, it's not, said the fox. Go and look again at the roses, then come back to say goodbye to me. I can tell you a secret. The little prince went to the roses. He said to the roses, You're not at all like my rose. My rose is the only one in the world. You are beautiful, but you are empty. He went on. My rose is more important than all other roses because I have watered her. I put her under the glass cup. I listened to everything she said because she is my rose. He went back to meet the fox. The fox said to him, Here is my secret. The important things are what can't be seen with your eyes. The fox went on. Time is important. Your rose is important to you because you spend time with her. Chapter 22. Good morning. What do you do here? Said the little prince. I send off the trains to the right or the left, said the switchman. A train was moving fast. What are they looking for? The little prince asked. The switchman said, Nobody knows. The second train was moving fast on the other side. Are they coming back already? No, it is an exchange. The third train was moving fast. Are they following the first one? Asked the little prince. No, they are following nothing, the little prince said. Only the children know what they are looking for. Children are lucky, the switchman said. Chapter 23. The little prince met a seller. The seller sold a drug that makes you not need to drink any water. Why are you selling that? The little prince asked. Because it saves people time, the seller answered. The little prince said to himself, I want to use that time to find a spring of fresh water. Chapter 24. On the 8th day, I listened to the story of the seller. I said to the little prince, Your story is very interesting, but the plane is still not working and I have no more water to drink. My friend the fox, the little prince said to me. This is not the time to talk about the fox. We are going to die. He answered me, it's good to have a friend, even if you're going to die. He didn't know how dangerous the situation was, but he understood what I wanted, so we started walking. It was nighttime already. Thirst had made me a little hot. Are you thirsty too? I asked. He said, water may also be good for the heart. He sat down. He spoke again. The stars are beautiful because there is a flower that cannot be seen. The little prince went on. The desert is beautiful? Yes, that's true, I said. The desert is beautiful because there is water that you cannot see. There was a treasure in my old house, but nobody could find that treasure. Yes, beautiful things can't be seen with the eyes. The little prince dropped off to sleep. I walked on with the little prince. The moonlight shone on his face. It was like a treasure. The little prince touched my heart. It was because of his unchanging heart for his flower. At last, the sun came up. We found water. Chapter 25. Men take the fast train, but they don't know what they're looking for. The little prince said, we found a well, but this well was like a well in a town. It was like a dream. It is strange. Everything is ready for us, I said to the little prince. The little prince touched the rope. Do you hear? Said the little prince. The well woke up and it is singing. I said, give me this. It is too heavy for you. I could see the sunlight on the water in the bucket. I am thirsty. Give me some water, the little prince said. He drank the water. His eyes closed. This water was good for the heart, like a gift. When I was a little boy, I received gifts. The lights on the Christmas tree had made the gift. I received more beautiful. Men have many roses, but they can't find what they are looking for. It could be found in a rose or some water. You must look with the heart, the little prince said. I drank the water too. The color of the sand was like honey. You must keep your promise, said the little prince. What promise? A mask for my sheep. I took my drawings out of my pocket. The little prince looked them over. He laughed and said, these baobab trees look like cabbages. The fox ears are too long. You are not nice, I said. I am not good at drawing. But I drew a mask for his sheep. You have plans that I don't know about, I said. He didn't answer. I came down here a year ago, the little prince said. I didn't know why, but I felt sad. Were you on your way to the place where you landed? I asked. His face turned red. I went on. Perhaps it was because of a special year. His face turned red once more. Now you must return to your plane. Come back tomorrow evening, the little prince said. Chapter 26. Close to the well, there was an old stone wall. The little prince was sitting on top of the wall. I heard his voice. Yes, yes. It is the right day, but this is not the place. Heard his voice again. You have nothing to do. You wait for me there. You have good poison. Now go away, said the little prince. I want to get down from the wall. When I looked at the foot of the wall, there was a yellow snake. That snake could take your life in just 30 seconds. I pulled out a gun, but the snake went away. Why are you talking with snakes? He didn't answer. I gave him some water to drink. He put his arms around my neck. I am glad that your plane is okay now, he said. Now you can go back home. I am going back home today too. It is much farther away. It is more difficult. I have your sheep. And I have the box. And I have the mask. I said to him, you are afraid. He smiled lightly. I said, I want to hear you laugh again. But he said to me, today is 1 year. I can find my star. He went on, the important things are things that cannot be seen. I replied, yes, I know. If you see the star, there is a flower. Yes, I know. If you drink water, you can listen to music. Yes, I know. And at night you look up at the stars. You can't see my star because it is so small, so you think that every star is my star. He smiled again. Oh, little prince. I love to see that smile. That is my gift, just that. Everyone has their stars. For travelers, the stars are guides. For scientists, the stars are problems. But for you, the star is laughing. I shall be laughing on my star because of you. You will always be my friend. You will want to laugh with me, but if your friends see you smiling at the sky, they will think you are crazy. I gave you a small bell, not a star. He quickly became serious. Tonight, do not come. I want to be with you tonight, I said. He was worried. It is also because of the snake. He may bite you just for fun. But I shall not leave you. He went away without a sound, but I caught up with him. He took me by the hand. It was wrong of you to come. It's too far. I cannot carry this body with me. It is too heavy, he went on, but it's nice. I can hear the sound of water. You have a great many little bells, and I have a great many wells. Here it is, the little prince said. He sat down. My flower. She is so weak. She needs me. I sat down too. That is all? He took one step. There was a yellow light close to his feet. He fell as gently as a tree falls. Chapter 27. 6 years have already passed by. I went back home safely. My friends were happy about my safe return. I know he went back to his star. At night, I love to listen to the little bells. I forgot to draw a row connecting the mask. He might not have been able to put a mask on the sheep. Did sheep eat the flower? I said to myself, no, the little prince put a glass on the flower every evening, but what if he forgot about the day? What if the sheep got out without a sound during the night? It's interesting. The world depends on whether the sheep ate the flowers or not. Did the sheep eat it? Did the sheep not eat it? It is here that the little prince came to earth and went away. Look at it carefully. Maybe the little prince will come back. If you ever meet the little prince, please let me know.